Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Kansept Loki, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, Kansept knives for me are definitely hit or miss. They've got some really great stuff, and then they've got some stuff that's good, but it's just kind of boring. This was a lot more fun to carry than some of the recent stuff that I've picked up from Kansept, and it also has an excellent price tag considering the base version is titanium and S35VN. Obviously, we have a Damascus variation here, but titanium and S35VN for a base price of $160 combined with the quality that Kansept applies to all of their stuff. And just the really cool design overall. I'm really not upset with that price tag. I'm going to tell you guys what I think, but I'll link this knife down in the description so that you can check it out if you want to. Thanks to Kansept for sending it in. Let's go ahead and get a measurement of this guy. The knife isn't huge, but because of the ergonomic space here, it actually is super comfortable and really easy to use. Overall length is coming in at shy of 7 inches. Don't let that deter you. I've got a lot of good things to say. Personally, I don't normally carry knives that are under 7 inches. In fact, I don't normally carry knives that are under 7.5. So this was a really good and kind of rare experience for me. But the exact measurement is 6.85 inches. Blade length is 3 inches on the dot, which is great. Pretty good ratios there. Then your cutting edge, despite part of this area being a forward choil, is still 2.85 inches. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and Others. Or, actually, no, not the pinned comment. That's the tools. Never mind. That's a different part of my video. I'm getting this mixed up here. Obviously, up against the AD10, this is a smaller knife, right? Even up against the AD20.5, smaller knife, but your cutting edge is almost identical. So definitely worth pointing out there. Let's go ahead and put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Definitely much more similar to the Para 3 with actually more cutting edge, but a very similar ergonomic zones here, just not with quite as much handle. And then finally, let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. So how is the action on this guy? The designer, and I might get this incorrect, the designer, I'll show you his logo here. I believe it's Stephen Dunnock, and I know that I mispronounced it. I'm actually questioning whether or not I even got his last name correct. I'm sorry about that. I'm not familiar with the designer, but that's the person behind this. I just want to make that clear before I get too far into the video. The action is very good. This was designed by a knife person, not just somebody looking to throw together some shapes that look good and then, you know, sharpen the edge and call it a knife, right? This was definitely designed by a knife person who prefers to have ergonomics that are similar to the ergonomics that I prefer, I guess. But your access to the lock bar is very good. This is an intentional cutout here, an intentional scallop on the lock side. You drop down into essentially the forward choil on the blade. And it's, I mean, the pivot action is great. Disengagement is super organic, and it's got a nice detent right there. Real good. Also, access to this opening hole, though it is partially covered by this side, is still open, especially with the area that you're going to be engaging with right here. This is a really satisfying reverse flick. You don't have to do that. You can do the forward flick. I didn't do a very good job there, but it honestly is very easy, especially if you tuck the meat of your thumb into the very top part of that oval, or you can do neither and just wheel it out. The positioning of this hole and the length of it is very good, and it's also really impressive considering how compact of a knife this is. Usually knives like this are not tall enough, there's not enough space, right? Or they just feel awkwardly small, and it's not a really enjoyable deployment situation. This is, which is a huge reason that I enjoyed this model so much. It works really, really well. It's very easy to deploy. A lot of people might have preferred a flipper tab or a thumb stud or whatever, but of the ways that you can deploy this, they're all pretty easy. I am pretty impressed with the action there, and the detent is fantastic. It's perfectly tuned, nice and clicky, just real good. Carry profile. Thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. This is not a thick or compact item in any way. It's the same thickness as the Para 3, length and height. Up against the PM2 and Para 3, you can see here, again, super compact. Just tall enough to make room for that hole there, but still not quite as tall as something like the Para 3. or nowhere near the size of the PM2, so just really compact. For materials, we have a milled titanium pocket clip. No love for lefty mounting position. That kind of sucks, but okay. It's also right on top of the tech string. I will point out, this is the frag version, which costs a whopping $6 more than the base version, which is smooth titanium, and your pocket clip will not be riding on the frag. To the designer and to Kansept, you only have one mounting position for this pocket clip, and it's set up for right-handed people. So it should have a bald spot under the clip, because since you're not accommodating for lefties, you're obviously not going to put an unsightly bald spot on the show side. So this needs to have a bald spot under here, right? But if you don't want to mess with that, it's not really that bad. I fought it a little bit in and out of the pocket. It's not that bad, but the smooth version obviously is much easier to deal with because the pocket clip is riding on a smooth surface. So, anyways, we did the carry profile materials. We're looking at titanium, and in this case, a Damascus, really nice, crisp Damascus, not really high reflectivity. We've been seeing this stuff here lately. This is a 9CR, 10CR combination. So essentially what you're looking at is a really nice looking Damascus that is a legitimate pattern weld modern Damascus, right? With two ingot compositions that by themselves are pretty good for performance. The end result in terms of how this is going to perform is a lot like VG10. So VG10 is not the most ideal composition on its own at this price point, but considering this is a Damascus and it looks really nice and still performs really, really well, I mean, it's going to perform really similarly to like 154CM as well. I think that a lot of people will be really happy with that. If you're not into that, the standard version of this, the base version, is in S35VN, which definitely has a balance that's going to be much more preferable to the average person who plans to use this for a long period of time. S35VN, absolutely one of the best user steels out there for a knife. I know it's not the newest, coolest thing, but S35VN is not inferior to modern super steels. It is absolutely still a super steel. It is one of the only compositions out of very few that were actually made for knives. So I want to remind people, great edge retention, good stainless properties, very tough, very easy to sharpen. It's just a great steel. So that makes that price tag really, really great. But if you want the Damascus version, that's fine. It's up to you, right? At least they give you options. So Damascus or S35VN, titanium with a titanium backspacer and a titanium pocket clip. All great stuff. Do we have milling on the inside for weight reduction? Yes, we do. The weight, whoops, that actually caught I got lucky there. I caught the very top of that. I was looking for I looked left and didn't realize where my finger was at, but we're good. The weight on this guy, I'm going to guess this weighs just under 4. Yeah, a 3.5, okay? Not bad at all considering you're looking at a 3-inch blade, right, on a titanium knife. 3.4 ounces is not bad at all. No part of this feels heavy. The knife actually is very well balanced right behind the pivot because there's quite a bit of blade, right, when you compare it to the amount of handle. So, good stuff. Hardware check. Let's get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I'm using or that I use on this channel. Just realizing the blade is slightly off center, and that's probably from using it and flicking it out. This is a knife that I spent a lot of time just sitting and fidgeting with when I wasn't really paying attention, and I realized I was doing that because it's nice to do that with, right? Considering it's so small. It's not normally a size of knife that I enjoy doing that with. Is this pivot not... What did I pull out here? Oh, I pulled out a T9. I was like, is this for real smaller than than a T8? It's got to be a T8 pivot. Sorry about that. We do finally have a new... But you know what? Boy, this is an unnecessarily elongated portion of this review because I didn't put my tools away properly. This is the T8, which... Are all T8 bits, are they all just like not like printed in a way where it's easy to see? I just replaced this thinking, oh good, this won't be a problem on camera anymore. That still is. T8, and I'm gonna give it a little bit of a retighten here just to feel, and it was also it did actually go back to center, but I flicked it a lot, or it's very, very close. I think probably if I got another driver, tighten up the other side. It is a free spinning pivot, which is no bueno. I mean, it's not a deal breaker. It's just kind of annoying because it's 2024, guys. D-shaped pivot barrel or captive pivot on the other side. There's a bajillion way to, well, there's not a bajillion. There's a couple of great ways to do it. It's very simple, right? This problem was solved a long time ago. No more free spinning pivots. That is that's just kind of silly. So, but there are plenty of companies that are guilty of this. It's just something that needs to be like, yeah, that it needs to be like a standard thing, right? That's like your car coming with a steering wheel. It should just be obvious, right? So let's do that. All right. Kansept, whoever else. Body screws. Are they? No, they are T6. Great. Okay. You have a hidden screw for the pocket clip. You have one screw here. That's great. Minimal hardware. Probably something floating in here for the backspacer to sit in place and not require additional screws. So that's fine. Still very easy to take apart. You're just going to have to use 2 drivers, which is kind of it's a pain in the butt. You can do it. Very easy to take apart still. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Blade stock thickness. We are coming in at, I'm going to guess that's about 125 to 130. Yeah, okay, slightly under 122 thousandths. So, meat and potatoes time. This is a beautifully ergonomic knife, and I also really like the design. They're not, you know, it's like I always say, they're not reinventing the wheel. This is got a little bit more personality than what we usually see on the market, but it's not something that's completely and totally unique. It does look cool, and I do like the frag lines, or like the diagonal, kind of whatever you call it, giving it a little bit of a bolster look there. I like the subtle kind of champagne bronze, and I do like it in combination with this Damascus, but it'd look good stone-washed as well. Man, ergonomically, super comfortable. I think the pocket clip is a little long. I don't think we needed that much, but I think this is a pretty generic Kansept clip, right? So they probably just slapped it on there. The same clip, bring it back to about here. Even still, ergonomically, it's not that bad because this is kind of like radiused. It honestly feels pretty good. Choked up, it's beautiful. I don't know why this area right here has no jimping. That's an interesting, just a little divot, right? Yeah. Jimping. I mean, honestly, you could do it all the way out to here. We even have a little bit of a harpoon notch right there. It is very comfortable, though. This is something that I like, especially with smaller knives. I'll give up a little bit of cutting edge to be comfortable on the knife. I do not like being crammed into a 3-finger position. So knowing that I can always hammer grip this with a full grip if I want, and at the same time, the knife is short enough to where draw cuts and, you know, pinch cuts or whatever it is, pinch grip, whatever that is, right? However you want to hold it, it's great. Like the whole thing is just really, really nice. When it's closed, it's got one of these areas right here. It almost looks like kind of a can opener aesthetic. It's obviously not a can opener. Some people love this and some people actually, I don't know that anybody is like, oh my God, I love that. Some people hate it though. The little ledge right there. I've heard people talk about this. I've never really considered it. The only time that it bothers me is when this is in a situation where it can pinch you if your fingers are in the wrong place during deployment. I don't think that there's a situation where my fingers are going to be in there while I'm deploying it. It certainly can pinch you though. But yeah, it's one of those things. I guess some people are bothered by it. The little ledge kind of makes me think of Crusader Forge, right? If you've never seen those knives, that was the vibe that I got from this, except much smaller and just, I think, a better design all the way around. It's cool. It's got kind of this old school, like robust tool look about it. Very chunky, meaty, kind of an aggressive look without actually being that. It's not thick or aggressive in any way. It's not uncomfortable. There's no real sharp edges. The texturing is very grippy, but not in a bad way, right? I mean, if you don't like it, you just don't get the texturing. But yeah, I really like how comfortable it is. The scales are not contoured, right? Part of the reason they got the price a little bit lower there. But it is comfortable, and this choke up spot is really, really nice. I just wish that there was some jimping up there. The blade shape, it's cool. We've seen it before. Subtle harpoon notch there. We've got a flat that carries out maybe 80% the length of the blade. Comes down to about medium thickness. It's not, you know, it's not going to be a laser beam, but it's certainly sharp, certainly capable. We've got a little tip there, obviously. Cutting bevel is even on both sides. That's something that Kansept very rarely has an issue with. Pretty good. Yeah, the blade's cool. It has the Kansept logo here. We have the maker's design mark right there, or the designer's mark right there. And then obviously on the S35VN version, you'll have S35VN. Sometimes Kansept likes to put codes and crap all over their knives. I really wish they wouldn't do that. Yeah, they did it here too even. Does it say... I don't even know what the heck it even says here. Let's zoom way in. Yeah, this, like the code thing, it just bothers me so much. Like, do we have to have that on there? That is such a bummer. I mean, yeah, it's almost invisible. On your S35VN versions, it's going to be a lot more visible, but man, like, that sucks. Can you put it on the blade but under the scale? Does it have to be... I mean, if you really want to see it, like, is there some law that's, like, making them put it on the blade? just put it on the part of the blade that's underneath the scale. Why does it have to be there? Who is that for? I don't understand why Kansept has to do that. And Kaiser, and there's a couple of companies that have to do that. And then there's a bunch of companies who don't. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's such an eyesore. But you know, some people are going to, I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I need to. It just depends on your perspective. But anyways, that's only the only real issue I have with the blade. It's just that mark right there. But yeah, the edge is nicely knocked down, really comfortable. I never felt like I was uncomfortable using this. It was all very organic and easy to manipulate. The black hardware on this is fine. I mean, you're going to get like some contrasting hardware depending on the model that you get or the version that you get. Black backspacer, just simple titanium, no lanyard hole. Who cares? Pocket clip, fine. A little bit long, and it's definitely riding on some aggressive texturing in this case. Sometimes you're going to have to fight it. If you don't want to do that, just get the smooth version. Steel lock bar insert that doubles as the over travel stop. We have a traditional stop pin right here. No blade play up, down, left, or right. It's running on bearings. No lock stick. No pivot lash. Incredibly smooth and consistent in here. Nice detent. And the centering is spot on now that I've corrected it. So, yeah, the coat on the blade, stupid. The texturing can be a little bit sharp. Pocket clip's a little bit too long for me. And no lefty mounting position, just kind of recapping all of my little complaints. Should have been some jimping up here. That's pretty much it. Honestly, it's a great knife. I like this one. I was surprised that it was, you know, a knife that I wanted to carry or enjoyed carrying. I think the blade's fine, right? It's not anything, you know, it's not overly thick or overly thin. It's just kind of like your typical everyday blade, but it looks good on the knife. It's a little bit of a sleeper, I think. At 160 bucks, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that price. That's a great price. If you pick this knife up, I think you'll really enjoy it. So this is going to go on my recommended knives playlist. That's pretty much it. Short and sweet. Well, not too short. It's still a 16-minute video. Thanks so much to Kansept. Sorry for sending this in. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at _metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.